It's a building that's grown on some of us, I have to say. So let's have our amendment. I'm going to...
Just a question on that.
Oh, question, Councillor Darby?
I actually did ask this question, but not in this committee, but
Yep.
through the staff offline, about this very matter of methods of disposal, and there's freehold, leasehold, and there are other methods that we might be offered by a suitable applicant. And also ask the question of public engagement. So the Aotea framework 2015, and maybe Mr. Watts could explore this, is not the Aotea framework 2015 going to go out for wide public? It'll be through the special consultative procedure? Is that what's used?
Through the chair, it's a non-statutory document, but there will be public consultation commencing in September.
And there's the opportunity at that stage to canvass things like civic building, what do we do with it, what might it look like to you, should we lease it, should we sell it, should there be another method. That's going to be a process by which we can draw out community opinion.
Through you, Madam Chair, to an extent, I think, the quarter plan is a holistic document. It covers a lot of ground, so I guess there's a risk of that consultation process getting bogged down on this particular issue. That said, we're imagining that the consultation will include some contemplation of development opportunities across the quarter, so there will be a conversation around this and other sites. Yep.
Okay, but these motions do not preclude, if this committee, as I understand, Madam Chair, these motions do not preclude, and personally I would expect further engagement on a development of this scale and importance. And I think some members are a little bit wary of there being the assumption is that there's no engagement. I would expect there to be a level of engagement on a project like this, that is the civic restoration and and surrounds restoration. So these motions don't preclude that.
No.
And I'm personally saying I would expect it in the future.
I'll take advice on this. I guess the difficult part of being a chair is being blunt. We also need, however, to be practical about what we ask our community, and I'm a firm believer in consultation, but if you consult, you need to be prepared and change and make things happen, and I think you should only consult on things that you're going to be prepared to enact. If we're going to consult our community about the vision they have for this building and no one's prepared to invest the money and we're not prepared to invest the money, then it becomes a somewhat moot point. So I think if we are going to go and talk to our community, we need to be really honest about the costs, the investment, and coming back from overseas to the LTP, I haven't seen a great cry from ratepayers to spend hundreds of millions of dollars more money. So Councillor, I think we just need to be a little bit cautious about what we mean about consulting. Yep. Yeah, so at the moment it is just an ROI process. Councillor Webster.
Well, Madam Chair, you probably said exactly what I was going to say. We're great at sitting around here in silos, and we get all very emotional about a building, and and yet we sit around here and vote against a huge budget that could have caused us huge problems. And yet somehow this building has now taken on
mythical.
I don't know, mythical. I thought this was the building that the one we're in now is the building we're trying to protect, or some of us were.
It is
because this is the town hall. This is the hysterical, building that Auckland City was founded on, or whatever. I'm sure that building over there doesn't mean a thing to most of the people on either side of the Harbour Bridge or south of here or anything else. We didn't like it when we were in there, a lot of us. We were very happy to move.
Loved it.
And actually, well, you did, because you never had to move from another one. But, I mean, I think the thing is, and we're very good at sitting here, particularly at this meeting, and suddenly going, oh, we can't do this, and yet, you know, we don't care about something that's going on in other parts of the country. Look, freehold or long-term lease, it's in there. We don't need to take out freehold. We've got plenty in here for the expressions of interest. Let's see what's going out there. It's been 5 long years. Wouldn't it be great to be able to make a decision and get on with it? And as Councillor Brewer said so rightly, you know, we knew this was going to happen in about 2011. We haven't been in there for ages. And we just keep going. But however, on a brighter note, maybe if we wait long enough, the whole thing will demolish itself.
Right, on that note, I'll go to Councillor Lee.
I'll be very
Councillor Lee.
quick, Madam Chair. All that needs to be said has been said. I'd make the point in terms of the business aspects of this, that we are at the same time trying to build the City Rail Link, which has demonstrated or proposed benefits, wider economic benefits, agglomeration benefits, and uplift of land values. And I think it's very important to factor that strategic element into the future of this building, which, yes, is well worth protected. And speaking as the elected member for this area, yes, it is valued by the people of in Auckland. Thank you.
So let's go to the amendment. I'll
By
put
division.
the amendment by division. Right, good.
So Councillor Casey's amendment, second by Councillor Nye, that changes to clauses, to clause A5, and it's to remove freehold of the motion. Is that correct, Councillor Casey?
Yep. Yes, that sounds.
Councillor Nye?
Aye.
Councillor Brewer?
No.
Councillor Casey?
Yes.
Councillor Cashmore?
No.
Councillor Clow?
No.
Councillor Darby?
No.
Councillor Philippina?
Against.
Councillor Crum?
No.
Councillor Lee?
Aye.
Member Namine?
Aye.
Councillor Penrose?
No.
Councillor Quacks?
No.
Councillor Stewart? No. Member Taipari?
Aye.
Councillor Sir John Walker?
No.
Councillor Wayne Walker?
Yes.
Councillor Watson?
Yes.
Councillor Webster?
No.
Councillor Wood?
No.
Deputy Mayor House?
No.
That is lost.
Yours,
13-7.
Okay. So let's then go to the substantive series of.
Oh, Madam Chair, just point of clarification. I see my amendment got given back to me. I presume it's been typed up, but the option of investigating potential demolition at least be on the table. Is that something that we're able to have a democratic vote on? Or?
Sorry, Councillor, I think I explained, which I was actually speaking to you when I explained, is that the issue of demolition, if nothing comes back via the ROI process, then we're going to have to go down that track and have that discussion. It seems a somewhat, to be honest, I think it's a superfluous amendment. The process is there. I think it is unnecessary, and as an amendment, I'm not going to accept it.
Well, I think it should be an option there so we can
Well,
assess it against the others.
But councillor, it is.
Well, let's put it up there then. It's not there in writing.
My
So
point
if
is,
you're
it's theoretical, and if we come back with nothing that is fundable, and
This
we
is
are
all
not
theoretical.
prepared to put funding in, then we're just going to have to face down the fact that demolition may well be an option. It seems unnecessary to reiterate that now. It's been made clear in every presentation we've had.
Well, let's make it
Councillor Quacks.
10 years, not 4 years then.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'm just mindful of the comments that were made by Councillor Crum in regards to a time frame around this, and I think that's very important. And Councillor Crum, I wonder if you've got an amendment or an addition that you can come to some conclusion around with the people from ACPL around a time frame that is both reasonable and doable.
Well, happy to hear from ACPL in regards to timeframes already proposed or being discussed. I'm happy to take your assurance that everything does go back on the table should the EOI process fall over. But a time frame up there would be good and helpful for all parties. Does not send anyone in any particular direction other than let's be a little bit more tight about this.
Maybe we
Just
can
like
get a-
we're going to be doing in the next agenda item.
I think we're comfortable with being tight about it. I just need advice from Clive as to what a reasonable time would be.
So I think so the work we've done on the program, bearing in mind reporting back, the need to report back to boards and committee and possibly a workshop first, so broadly from today we would shape up the EOI request and let's say that's out within 4 to 5 weeks, which will be the start of, and that's where we seek the international interest and development interest. And that normally you'd run an EOI process for 4 to 6 weeks, which would take us through to the end of August, early September. In September, there's also the consultation on the quarter plan. So by the end of September, we've probably completed the 4 weeks consultation. We've received the EOI submissions and been able to evaluate them, probably to a workshop with ADC then in October, and then probably a formal to the boards and to a workshop to the RFA and the DA boards, maybe a workshop at the end of October through to the formal meeting of ADC in November, and that's where we'd look to seek. So that's the working timetable in my mind that we're working to, and then into the EOI process, and probably ready for you to make a decision on a selected party when you come back after Christmas.
Okay.
I think it is wise
reasonable.
to put a time frame around it,
So,
councillor Crum.
Madam-
Good advice.
So, Madam Chair, would it be reasonable to settle on a date of, say, the 31st of March 2016 as a deadline, or as a... I think that would be, gives us a reasonable
31st
amount
of
of time.
March.
So I'd like, Madam Chair, as a way of an addition, I'd like to, perhaps councillor Crum, and I'll second it for her, put that up.
I'm happy to
So
just
you
add
absorb
that
it.
to
Just
our
absorb it.
Just add it.
list of recommendations, I think.
2018,
Yep.
you can vote for the
So
LTP
we'll
or not.
work on that. I think that makes sense. It's good to have a time
Can I just ask a question, Madam Chair?
question, councillor Lee?
This sort of prescriptiveness is not going to impact on the market or the expression of interest process you're trying to float, or?
Yeah, I think the general feedback we get from the private sector is that they want to see clarity, certainty that the council is going to make a decision, and that there's momentum in the process. That because if a party puts a team together, if Fletchers bring a team together for the EOI process, they want to roll them through into the next stage as well, and so
I'm just concerned about
so momentum
timing
is good.
and rushing a deal for the sake of it. You know, I think we should be very careful about amateur hour.
Can I suggest?
I don't think we can be accused of rushing anything.
Rushing a deal,
So
it's been 5 years.
Can I suggest that we make C that our intent, so that to give you, if something bubbles, obviously you need to renegotiate this, is to have the process complete 31 March, which is what I think was suggested there, so that there's an intention, but we're not leghorning ourselves into something that is just commercially daft. So we'll come back to you if other events drive a need to take a bit longer, and that would only be in the case where we think there's something that needs to be explored more. So I think something along that line, Clive, makes sense, doesn't it? And to Councillor Quax's view, gives the extension of time to if a reasonable normal slippage if there is any.
But
May
keeps
I
a
just
bit of
add,
pressure
may I
on.
just add in response to the comments made by Councillor Lee, Madam Chair, that one of the reasons why this building will be extraordinarily difficult to sell or dispose of, and perhaps miss the opportunities that Councillor Lee and Councillor Darby see, is because of the navel gazing and the
Yeah, that's not helpful. I think, I understand where you're going, but I think we're
If
getting
it was up to
towards
me,
the
we'd be
point-
still over there.
I know. For councillors and members, I think it's probably getting reasonably
But
close
they
to
were over there in the
lunchtime.
first place, Mike.
I'm going to suggest
They're in the first place.
that we
10 years
move on to the
under the stairs.
recommendations. And
Chair.
I just, hang on, I know, let me tell you where I'm at. I've got councillor Webster and councillor Darby, and I just need to remind councillor Cameron Brewer, if you are unhappy about not having your amendment put up, I understand that, but you had already spoken.
Oh, yeah.
Hovering-
No, these
oh,
technical
I
ones always
know,
come back, but I'm
I
happy to give
know.
it to councillor Webster. Let's do
But-
it.
She's
And hers
also-
will be a lot more
Sorry,
hers will be
spoken.
demolition.
I know. It was a good
Forthwith
try.
will be.
Councillor
No,
Webster.
I just want to ask Tim a question.
Commonwealth Games
Um,
opened, had the demolition
what-
of buildings
When
in
you,
Glasgow.
can you just run, I know you've already spoken and it's told us about the centre plan that you're doing here. That doesn't, does it talk about that building being there, or if you're going out for consultation, or will it be a building there, or is, I mean, I don't want future, whatever we're going to do with this building,
It's the
maybe
centrepiece.
demolish it, being hamstrung by the consultation that you're going to do. Because unfortunately, when we go out and consult about saving this or saving that, we never put a dollar sign on it. So,
Through the chair, I mean, fundamentally, we'll be guided by you. As I said earlier, we're bringing back a report to the next committee on the framework itself. Currently, we've contemplated a range of options for all of the development sites, from the do nothing right through to full-scale demolition and rebuild. So, that might be the scope of the consultation. I don't know. As I say, fundamentally, we'll be directed by you.
okay, thanks.
Madam Chair, just a question on the timing of the 31st of March. Is that, we're reporting on the EOIs in November ADC. Is this potentially, when we talk about process, are we potentially signing the ink on a commercial deal with a third party as far as the redevelopment of this by the 31st of March? Are we potentially doing something that forthwith, or, because I just want to get a clarification over the process, because otherwise I want to see more so the outcome than the process being completed.
So hopefully look, if it goes well, and these are, I think, intentions and targets, if it goes well and you've, say, selected the preferred party in February, and that's subject to that being a clear-cut decision, there would be a period of commercial negotiations to dot the I's and cross the T to ensure that everything was tightly concluded commercially. So that may take, that could typically take 2 to 3 months. So but you'd be working with a selected party to lock down the details, and then we'd be.
So your definition of process is that by the 31st of March we are working with a preferred party? But we haven't
Some sort of heads of agreement, and we're advancing to commercial terms.
advancing to completion of contract or negotiation. Yep.
I think to be clear, just, or we would have well known by then there was no interest and we'd be talking
Yeah,
about
or.
other options.
Yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, that's great.
The option of which we will not speak. Councillor Darby.
I don't normally
was-
take a right of reply, but
I tell you what I might do. Why don't I take Councillor Watson very quickly, and then we'll go to you, and then we are going to take a break. Otherwise, we will never finish this item. Councillor Watson.
Thank you, and it will be very quick. I just going to make the comment that I hope that during the EOI process that we're not so keen to talk down the value of the building as many councillors seem to be quite eager to do. I can't think of ASB when they were coming to sell 135 Albert saying, well, if it doesn't work out, we're going to demolish it. So I think if we're talking about business expertise, I'd be tending to concentrate on the benefits and the value of this fine building. I hope that occurs.
Which is a great buy with huge redevelopment potential and a do-up just waiting for your loving.
Oh, Century 21, eat your heart out.
Right, Councillor Darby.
Look, just
Location.
good discussion, and I appreciate the councillors that are standing up for this building and not overly eager. I'm a bit surprised about the eagerness to put demolition back on the agenda here. If there's one thing that Auckland has lost, it's lost some great buildings. I can remember going to Buckerhead concerts at His Majesty's. Auckland didn't really value that building until the owner put the demolition hammer through it overnight. You know, there's just so many buildings we did not wake up to and realise their beauty or potential and what they offered to the city until they were gone, because we didn't have the discussions. And I think, members, it's not 2011. It's 2015, and 4 years on, we have got two very lengthy reports from Artefact and Sam & Reed, which say very, very clearly that this building warrants protection. And I would say at the end of the unitary plan process, it will have that protection, because there are a number of submissions in saying this is worthy of A. We've already seen some evidence saying that one of the submitters is absolutely determined to go the whole distance and get an A protection on this building. We have to face up to these buildings that we are the guardians of. Do we just let them go like weak administrations of the past?
Point of order, Madam Chair. There was a comment earlier that there should be no predetermination when the independent hearings panel was sitting, and that members should have an open mind. So I think we just need to be cautious of what we say around heritage protection or not, that we're not in an advocacy role as Councillor Quacks was accused of last time around land supply issues and intensification. I think the same applies.
Councillor Darby's not.
I think it's slightly different, but we will just, make sure that we're holding our tone. Thanks, Councillor Darby.
Another
Back
call
you.
to demolish, and I reject that, and I'm sure Aucklanders are waking up to the fact that we start to look after the heritage that this place is built upon. And age does not create heritage. Surely we've woken up to that fact. Would you not protect the World Architecture Award building that the Auckland Art Gallery is now? Let's please, all of us, start to wake up to what has built this city and hosts us now. Don't let it go.
And on that note, I'm going to put the recommendations. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No, recorded.
Councillor Casey against. That's carried. Thank you very much. We're now, and I do apologise to everyone who's waited patiently. I gave a couple of people completely a wrong steer about when we'd get to Hobsonville. I'm sorry. We haven't got there yet, but we are going to break for half an hour and then come back. So we will come back at just after 1:15. Thank you.